G'day, I've been sitting on a few videos I had saved from back when I used to use TikTok. For those that use it, I'm sure you're familiar with advertisements that will usually play for games that feature some other cringy acting, gameplay that doesn't exist, like the gameplay shown isn't real, or it's representative of the game but just features way better graphics or something than what the game actually looks like. So, after seeing a few really terrible looking ones, I figured it'd be fun to record some of them and then play the game itself from the App Store and see how it compares to the trailers. Now, trailers misrepresenting the final product and how it plays is something that happens with real games too, but with mobile games it seems so much more prevalent that it's practically expected a trailer will tell you nothing about the real experience. A real gaming experience should look like today's sponsor, Raid Shadow. Tricked ya? Fuck that game. First up, we have Last Fortress.
How many times have you seen a game that looks completely different from its ads? I know, a lot, but not this game. This game looks exactly how you're seeing it. Amazing graphics, great storyline, and most of all, it has the perfect balance of excitement, adventure, strategy, and critical thinking.
Okay, now, to be fair, they seem to be hyping it up, but I reckon they probably recorded this for a different game and the company just...
This game is called Last Fortress Underground. Try it and prove me wrong.
Oh, never mind. This was probably the most heavily advertised game I ever came across during my time on TikTok, and it's a strange one. Some parts of these ads do not occur at all, but other parts are true to what the game is, albeit with shitty pre-rendered animations. There is a level of base building and resource management that's pretty much the same as Fallout Shelter, so those parts ring true. The difference though is that Fallout gets the tutorials out of the way and lets you start building your shelter and actually playing the game and making your own decisions. Last Fortress, in the roughly 30 minutes I could stand to play, refused to give me control, and the whole time I was just pressing the next quest button and clicking ticks to confirm something to be built. Nothing interesting happened, and even the engagements are just your standard auto battles with no depth to them. If you want to play something in this vein, just download Fallout Shelter. Speaking of auto battles though, Top War Battle. Slap your units and buildings together to level them up into better versions. Make your number bigger than the enemy to win battles, and I'm not sure what else you're supposed to do. The game, now keep in mind when I'm talking about mobile games, I use that word pretty loosely, is very shallow and boring. The ads, like Last Fortress, are using some different pre-rendered style that looks nothing like the game and has some great cringe acting.
Dude, what about your table?
I'm playing Top War Battle. It's way more fun than serving tables.
Where did they go? This is a lot of fun. Hey, what are you doing? Top War Battle.
Top War Battle.
Can't go wrong with that in your mobile game ads. There's apparently been quite a few crossovers where you can get Transformers characters as leaders, and of course premium currency to spend your money on. And I briefly had a look at the world map thing where it seems like other players' bases are scattered across the map. At some point I was invited to a clan, so my assumption is that you're able to attack enemy bases and form alliances similar to Tribal Wars for anyone who ever played that game. Fuck me, I remember Tribal Wars having way more depth and being so much more enjoyable than this piece of shit. Righto, onto something else. Tactical. I don't know what this is that's being advertised, but as you can clearly see, it's not even remotely like the real game. Supposedly this is a 5v5 multiplayer shooter, but I'm convinced I was never once playing with or against a real player, mostly because no one seemed to move like a real player, and it was way too easy to kill them without so much as being shot back at. It's weird because there's an interesting level of interactivity that's built into the game, and it sort of showcases that there's effort put into this. This was a game that somebody decided to make on purpose, and generally it looks pretty decent. The ads they run for it make it actually look 10 times worse than the proper game. I don't know how many maps there are though, because I was pretty bored after only 2 matches and it gave me the same map for both games. Onwards to not Counter-Strike. Again, we have an advertisement that looks almost nothing like the actual game. I say almost because at least both the advertisement and the real game are in first person, so that's something. This whole sneaking aspect with a mate, that's not part of the game. Lockpicking, not part of it. The bloke dragging you into the room, that's suspiciously similar to this scene from Wolfenstein: The New Order. Funny enough, also not in the game. What it actually is, and I'm sure this rip-off logo and barely different name gave it away, is essentially a mobile version of Counter-Strike. The ad does show this right at the end, but it makes me wonder what the fuck the point of everything else was when it actively makes the game look worse. If I was looking for a mobile game to play, that ad would make it look just really unappealing. The actual game itself is way better, so I don't know why they bothered with this sort of ad. It's supposed to be PvP, but like Tactical, I don't think I was playing with or against real people, because I was fucking mowing these cunts down with little to no resistance. Yes, there's a shop with outrageous prices and guns can only be rented or bought with real money, and for some reason they're upgradable, which potentially makes the playing field very unbalanced. And it's a real shame because the game actually plays decently enough as far as mobile first-person shooters go, and it looks and performs excellently. In my third and final match, I bumped the FPS up from 60 to 120, and it seemed to be locked to that FPS without any issue. If I was a mobile gamer, I'd definitely be more inclined to play a game that plays like this, looks very nice, and runs well. These next few games will be some doozies though. Hide and Seek. The ad actually looks like the game and showcases how it plays, so that's a nice change, just without the cancerous music playing the whole time. I can only stomach a couple of minutes with the game though because of how intrusive it is with its ads. The first one that played during my game as a hider, I thought I had pressed, so I was kind of like, oh, that's my bad, I gotta be careful of where I'm pressing on the screen. And then eventually I escaped the ad and played the game as a seeker. Mid-game, I run into a walk through walls power-up that is only given to you after watching an ad. For about 50 seconds, I am held hostage to this fucking ad, and when I'm finally out, the game is over. So, thanks but no thanks. Mind Tap. It's fucking cookie clicker with Minecraft blocks and some Minecraft crafting to make better items and such. The ad is exactly what the game is, so again, plus points for that. Call me a boomer or something, but I don't get the appeal of clicking games, so I shut this off real fucking quick. Paperfold. The ad shows you having not only to solve the puzzle of completing the picture, but also has songs that play the lyrics out of order if you do it incorrectly. So do it in order, you hear the song how it's supposed to sound.
Fill a bottle full of bub. Bottle full of bub. Find me in the club. Mama, I got what you need if you need to fill a buzz.
I don't know if these songs are purchasable or even exist in the game though, because after completing my first fold, I was hit with an ad. My recording for the game is 17 seconds long. 9 of that is the gameplay. So I'm not doing that. Not if it's going to give me an ad after every fucking fold. Sponge art. Genuinely interesting premise for a puzzle game, and the ad doesn't lie, so that's great. But after fucking one of the sponges up to play around with the physics and everything, and needing to restart, I was forced to sit through an ad. Then I completed it, and again, was forced to sit through an ad. So I noped out of that game real quick. Tall Man Run. Yet another game where the ad actually makes me want to check it out even less, but at least it's true to what the game is. Then you're fucking bombarded with ads again for doing literally anything. So that's a no from me. Draw to Save. The ad is exactly how the game plays, but like the previous couple, you will be fed ads constantly. Otherwise, you can be as creative as you'd like with the drawings, so long as you accomplish the goal set by the game. Funny enough, there was one game I used to see advertised a lot on TikTok, but I wasn't trying to record ads back then, so I never actually got any footage of it until I was playing Draw to Save. It played me an ad and that game came up. So the next game on the list is Ebony. Okay, so there are puzzles where you're supposed to unlatch things in a correct sequence. But what the ad doesn't tell you at all is that this is also a strategy game with resources where you pick a culture at the start, build buildings, spend money on its bullshit in-game items, etc, etc. It sucks because the puzzles are about the only interesting thing in the game, but you can't just only do the puzzles. You also have to do these bullshit management tasks. Apparently the people that created ads for it also recognized that the puzzles would be the main factor to draw people in. Giant Wanted. Yeah, more or less exactly what the ad shows, but you get ads after completing every level, so fuck 'em. Turn Left. Looks like the ad, but it's boring as shit and loaded with more ads. Monster Evolution. The ad is great for this one because we get some cringe. I guess the word I should use is people, because the word I would like to use would be super offensive.
Wait, what? Wait. What are we gonna transform into, bro? No way. What? We transform into a bodybuilder. Wait, but that's not even the final transform. Whoa! What the heck?
The game does what the ad shows, but after 20 seconds of gameplay, I was met with a 50-second ad, then accidentally hit the reward multiplier, which kickstarted another 50 seconds of ad. Miss me with that shit, as the kids say. Moon Pioneer. The excitement that is faked for the ad is actually great. One of the more convincing ads, and the gameplay shown is true to the game as well.
Let's go. Watch this.
But for me, if I wanted to play a resource generating game, I'd rather play Satisfactory or Factorio. But overall, not an awful game from the small amount I played. I was hit with an ad, but that only occurred after a couple of minutes of game time, so that's pretty significant to get a couple of minutes of game time before being fed an ad. Kingdom Guard Tower Defense. The actual game looks nothing like the ad, but at least we get this fucking retard person to laugh at as they pretend to be interested in this fake footage.
Down the street. I don't know what that guy's doing, but here's a tower. Take it on. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna add onto the base. Okay. Now I have all this room. I need to put it back and then add a few more towers around.
Shut the fuck up!
The actual game is trash. Just play Bloons if you want a good tower defense game. Super Soccer Goal Stickman. Oh, fuck, bloody mouthful of the title, but the game is exactly as the ad shows, and it's a bit of fun. I managed to play for 3 minutes before seeing an ad, so that's a big plus. Honestly, one of the more legitimate games I would actually play and chuck a couple of dollars towards if I played games on my phone. Bullet Echo. So the game looks like the ad gameplay wise, but the visuals and lighting are quite different, as you should be able to see in the video, and also the content doesn't match what's promised. The ad says this is a tactical battle royale, but the actual game is this, I think, co-op against bots, where it just essentially turns into a Hotline Miami inspired game, but with SWAT members and weaponry. I think you're supposed to be fighting real players, and to be honest, I'm not even convinced the people on my team were real people. In-game shop, in-game currency, blah blah blah. Baseball Clash. So the name is slightly different in the ad. The full title it shows is Baseball Clash Real-Time Game, which is odd, but otherwise it's as advertised. How about that? It plays quite well. You've got different pitches you can throw, and it's fun trying to get the timing right when you're batting. I'm mostly confident the people I played against were real, and the only real negative I have about the game is that it's baseball. Baseball, like cricket, fucking sucks. On to the final game for this video. Zuba Zoo Battle Royale. So I guess the ad is kind of correct about what the game is, but you'd only pick up what it's telling you if you're familiar with the Battle Royale genre. So piss poor effort in terms of the advertisement, but game itself is actually kind of good. This was the first mobile game I played for this video, and I was genuinely surprised that this seemed to have effort put into it. There's a season pass, a shop, characters that can only be unlocked as random drops and whatnot, so that kind of sucks, but it controls nicely, looks great, runs great, the music is pretty catchy. If you're mostly playing mobile games, what more could you want? Like most battle royales, there's an ever-closing circle, weapons to pick up, and different heroes with different abilities. I assume there's some sort of meta because the majority of the people who are doing well and winning pick the Fox, most likely for its speed and dash ability. Then there's also the fact that you can upgrade your damage and such, so the more you play, the more unfair it becomes to new players. But overall, a surprisingly solid game. I'm very dismissive of mobile games because that is where you find some of the most predatory monetization models as well as the most garbage experiences. The only other place you can find games this garbage would be on the Nintendo store, because that just seems to have pretty much all the mobile games ported over to the Switch and then charging full price Switch game prices. It seems it's ridiculous how many just outright shit games exist on that store and are quite expensive for what they are. Making mobile gaming even less interesting for people like me is when you see these terrible ads that are trying to sell you on a game that doesn't exist, or even worse, make the game actually look terrible in their advertisements when it's actually pretty decent. I doubt I'd find anything that would have me playing on my phone for long periods of time. Even Diablo Immortal, I couldn't be fucked sitting down and playing it for longer than 20 minutes. But if you have some suggestions, I'm open to having my mind changed, and I'll definitely sit down and give some games a go if there are some genuinely decent ones that are worth playing. And now that we've done all that, till the next video, have a good one.